9, 8.
Are you ready for liftoff?
6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, we're struggling. 2, 1, and we are live.
To the moon.
To the moon. To the moon. So, as you know, if you're new or if you're not new, we always start off with the disclaimer. Let me just make you co-host, Ninja.
Yes, sir.
First things first, anyone that's in the Zoom room, anyone that is watching this on YouTube, Instagram, wherever you're watching this or listening back on the podcast, please right now go onto YouTube, like and comment on this live stream because it helps the algorithm and it helps more people find out about the fantastic work that we're doing. So please go ahead and do that whilst Ninja reads out the Discord. No, not the Discord, the disclaimer.
Yes, and also please bear in mind if you're listening to this on audio, Apple Music, Spotify, Audius, whatever. We love you, we appreciate you, but you only get the full experience if you turn up to the actual live. First and foremost, if you can make that. Second to that, catch the replay on YouTube. And another reason why we appreciate YouTube comments is so we know who's actually watching. So let's get it. So disclaimer. All our content is for education, information, and entertainment purposes only. No information should be considered investment advice or a financial recommendation to buy, sell any assets, or place any trades. Please always do your own research. It is very important to do your own analysis before doing any or making any investments based on your own individual circumstances. Always take independent professional advice from a professional advisor or independently research and verify all and any information you may find in our content that you wish to rely upon, whether you wish to make an investment decision or otherwise. All investments come with risk. Please always do your own research. Neither myself, nor Michael Harding, nor Keish, nor our special guests, Adam and Moses, are financial advisors, and we do not intend to be perceived or received as financial. Oh my God, it's time to break now. Amazing. I'll do it in a second. All investments come with risk. Please always do your own research. Again, we're not financial advisors and do not intend to be perceived or received as financial advisors. However, we are working in collaboration with several accredited advisors. If you're unable to mitigate your risk, then please contact us immediately so we can refer you to an accredited financial advisor. Now, on this week's episode of the game,
we didn't do the split. You didn't let me split my bars.
Oh my God! Sorry.
Sorry.
I
like it like that, but it's fine.
Live vote breaking the fast.
Fair enough. Right, so normally we spice up the disclaimer and we make it a little bit more entertaining, and that's one of the bits that people love. So being as it's tradition to take the piss out of the disclaimer, we have to do that. So as you know, I know absolutely nothing. We may read reports from Citibank. We may read earnings reports in this actual show and show you how to do it. And we may have literally yesterday sat down with a former trader from Goldman Sachs who kind of hinted towards the fact that there's some people that are working in Goldman Sachs that don't even know what an investment ISA is. But, you know, we give that information out for free. But we're not financial advisors because we don't have the piece of paper that some of the people at Goldman Sachs have. So yeah, not just Goldman Sachs. Obviously, there's various other institutions that you can let them manage your money and get you around 10% per year, if that's your kind of thing, being as inflation is around 8%. Sorry. Anyway,
you need to put them together. Exactly.
Oh yeah. Because eventually you're gonna realize after taking that L that 2 L's can make a W, and that's what you should do. You should come and win with us at Blockchain Sensei. It's all about understanding and educating yourself so that you can actually see if you are being chiefed by your bank because you're currently being chiefed by the government because of inflation. So, you know. That's just our disclaimer and our little pokey edge that we like to have at the start of the show. Today's show is very, very special. We're going to keep the news nice and short so that we can get into the Tesla earnings report real quick, especially being as Elon's just bought Twitter. Super, super relevant. Because of that, I'm definitely going to do a little bit of TA based on some of the Wyckoff that we did last week and show you the spring that I saw in the Wyckoff distribution, because I definitely think alt season is definitely here. And then we have two very special guests. We have Mr. Moses, who is a consensus accredited dev, who's been working on play to earn projects from way back when nobody was interested in play to earn and nobody was interested in smart contracts. And then we have Mr. Adam Powell, who's one of the only people I know in this whole entire space that actually has a master's that proves that he actually knows what he's talking about when it comes to blockchain technology. So big shout out to our guests and future partners and members of the Blockchain Sensei team. So let's start with the news. Do you want to read the first bit of news then, Ninja? I'll just bring it up.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm trying to eat.
Okay. Fair enough. You eat. I'll read the news. So first is things are getting a bit sketchy in the NFT world, because at least 30 million in NFTs have been stolen after the Bored Ape Yacht Club Instagram and Discord was hacked, which a fraudulent mint link was sent to followers, and some appear to have taken the bait. Well, if you're a Blockchain Sensei student, you know that you shouldn't have your NFTs in your public wallet. That's just a recipe for disaster. The rule in Blockchain Sensei students is you have 5 wallets. You have one wallet that's public, one wallet, preferably a hard wallet. Shout out to Ledger, who are eventually going to sponsor us. I'm going to keep putting it out there until Ledger actually do sponsor our show, because we're talking about you every week. So shout out Ledger, we love you. Please don't bring KYC to Ledgers, please. But yeah, that's what happened there. Next bit of news is one of the things that we shared in the group was a platform called Bitrefill, absolutely doing bits with platforms like Tesco, allowing you to put crypto on gift cards, allowing you to pay with Bitcoin, Lightning, Dash, Dogecoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum, for major platforms like Tesco. Next one is the Ukraine bans Bitcoin purchases with local currency and martial law. Now, I'm not a political expert, but the one thing that I do know that is consistent with politicians and politics is it's very inconsistent. Politics and politicians seem to always have, I know these guys have got a war and whatever going on, and we should feel, innocent people dying, but innocent people die in wars all around the world, but no one really cares. Just being honest and blunt about it. But the politicians, it's okay for them to tweet Elon Musk and to accept Bitcoin, but now it's not okay for the people. I just feel that's a bit of a it's a bit of a controversial area there that just doesn't really sit right with me. Next is the Alien director Ridley Scott, who's a massive fan of NFTs. Do your research on that one. He wants to produce a film about the rise of Ethereum's rise. And he's going to be doing that
on Coin Market Cap,
which is cray. So watch out for potential NFTs about the rise of Ethereum, which in a Ridley Scott movie, that's amazing. So shout out for anybody who knows, I'm actually originally an actor, and I would love the opportunity to play Charles Hoskinson in this movie.
A black Charles Hoskinson. What a twist.
Yo, anything's possible these days.
Charles Hoskinson is Caucasian.
Anything's possible. They did a black Anne Boleyn. They can be a black Charles Hoskinson.
Mate, if they're going to try and do a black James Bond, you might as well do a black Charles Hoskinson.
Would you not rather be a black Dr. Gavin Wood?
Ooh. Nah, because Gavin's a bit boring. Because Charles is just on smoke.
Yeah, he's entertaining.
He's entertaining, isn't it? So that's why I like Charles. Next is one of the key areas that I think we're going to do a special episode on is the changing world order. We're going to I'm going to do an episode, maybe next week's episode of the game, where I'm going to just dive into what Ray Dalio suggests the best things for us to do during a change in the financial world order. what is the change in the financial world order? That would be countries stopping or changing from using US dollar as their reserve currency. Now, this kind of happened. Israel adds yuan to their 206 billion reserves in philosophy change. So this seems like a tiny thing, but those that have been doing their reading of Ray Dalio's book or understand the changing world order philosophy, this is the first domino, and is a very interesting thing to happen. Next is obviously the Coinbase NFT went live, but we discussed that on NFT Fridays. Just because we're in a bit of a cool mood with today's episode. Has anybody got any news apart from the fact that Elon Musk has bought Twitter that they want to share or update the community or anyone watching?
Just to add as well, with the changing world stuff, I'm there for that as well. I've got a lot to talk about.
Okay. Perfect. Looks like that's potentially going to be next week's episode. Is a changing world order, a Ray Dalio special. If you don't know, and if you're new, if you click on the Blockchain Sensei link tree, this will actually take you to all things Blockchain Sensei. From here, you can visit our website. You can register for the game every Monday. You can register for the NFT Fridays. You can watch all our past episodes, and then there's all our paid products and services. We'll just quickly open up what those paid products and services are and our website. Now, the reason I'm mentioning the website is because the website will actually take you to where, if you're interested in booking some lessons to learn more about investing in stocks and understanding how and why you need to break down earnings reports for stocks, you can book in a free consultation here. And then we've got our lesson plan, which is down below, but you can go and click on that and yourself. If you've got a business and you want to start accepting payments for your business in crypto, let us know. If you want to talk to a crypto accountant, let us know. If you want to talk to a financial advisor, let us know. If you want to create an NFT or learn more about NFTs, please let us know. Or if you want to join our agency, let us know. But the reason I was mentioning this is because if you want to listen to the Ray Dalio interview that we did with Ray Dalio, then just click here and you can go from there. Now, not blowing our own horn, but there's not many platforms out there in the UK that can say that they've spoken to Ray Dalio. Just putting it out there, guys. So yeah, thank you to the guys that hooked that up for us, Tortoise Media and none other than Mo. So that's that. Then in terms of paid content, if you're looking for some additional education, we've got all of our PDFs here, our Intro to Crypto, NFTs Explained, and NFT Masterclass. There is so much game in this episode. It's ridiculous. It's undervalued at £50, in my opinion. You can get the bundle, and then there's music NFTs, an intro to crypto swing trading, and then we also have our top 10 altcoins, which is still relevant because some of the things that we mentioned in that are still going up. Shout out Proppy, which did 200%, and Kaiba. And then we also have our trading inner circle, which for £20 a month, you can actually see every trade and every NFT purchase that we make as the Blockchain Sensei team. So let's get into breaking down this earnings report. So why do you want to learn how to read an earnings report? That's simply because this is where the fundamental data and key information about a company actually is. So the way we're going to break it down is the way that we break it down for our new students. Is first of all, we go to a website called Hypercharts. And on this website, Hypercharts, it gives you an absolute beginner's guide to understanding understanding the dynamics of what's happening within a company / business. So let's just close these windows down. You can all see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So what we would do is we would click on Tesla, and this will give us a really nice breakdown of what we're trying to understand here before we go. So first of all, we can see the amount of vehicles delivered. Is that going up and to the right? Yes. So if they're delivering more vehicles, that would mean that they're making more revenue. As we can see here, their revenue is going up and to the right. What this also shows us is the revenue segments that they have. So the blue area is the amount of revenue they're making from cars they're selling. The red area is the amount of money that they're making from energy. So again, we'll say it again. We say it every episode that we review Tesla. Tesla is not a car company. It's an AI and energy company. Watch out for this space. Now, other is an area which I expect to increase, especially when Tesla released the Tesla bot. And as most people don't know, the data that they're getting from these self-driving cars, they have 10 times more self-driving car data than any other company in the world. And they're going to be leasing and selling that to other companies. So they're probably going to make a lot more.
What does he also say? Data is the new oil.
There we go. So yeah, they've got a lot of it. And then obviously the other service that we said they would do, which they are now doing, is Bitcoin mining. So yeah, you know. So that's the revenue. So if the revenue increases, what's going to increase? Most likely the net income. Why is the net income going to increase? If they increase their margins. So hopefully as a beginner, that's made a bit of sense, and that will make even more sense of what we're about to do next. So what you do is you just simply type in investors relations. Now, what I'm about to show you, literally only 3% of investors do this. 3% of all the investors in the world actually look at the investor relations of a company. Now, the reason you want to do this is because this gives you a critical advantage over other people. You are now getting inside the company and finding out what the CEO is saying about what's going to happen next and what's currently happening. This allows you to make a better investment decision if the asset that you're holding is going down. If you've read the earnings report, you're like, I don't care if it goes down because I've read already that Tesla is improving their margins. I've read already that Tesla is going to start mining Bitcoin. I've read already that Tesla's going to be releasing these robots. The only way you find these things is through the earnings reports and through the earnings calls. Whereas
can I just add something on top of that as well?
Yep.
In fact, if the stock price does dip, not financial advice, but just take this on board. If the stock price does dip and the earnings report is strong, that may be an indicator that the stock's going to bounce up. So it's actually a good opportunity to buy.
Yep, definitely agree with that. So let's click on, all you got to do is type investors relation and then Tesla. Shout out to Presearch, the best search tool if you don't want Google taking and tracking all your searches and then selling your search data. Shout out Presearch, shout out Salian VC. So what we do is you then click here and we can click on shareholder deck Q1 2022. Okay, we're going to keep this nice and quick. So highlights, what are the highlights? The first quarter of 2022 was another record quarter for Tesla. Well, straight away, is everybody else having a record quarter in the world that we're living in right now? No, they're not. Everyone else's company is tanking and these guys are having another record quarter. Tesla, by several measures such as revenues, including vehicle deliveries, everyone else's company struggling with logistics, these guys are hitting record vehicle deliveries. Operating profit and operating margin of over 19%. Our outstanding resource debt has fallen below 0.1 billion at the end of Q1. Public interest in sustainable future continues to rise and remain focused on growing as fast as it is reasonably possible. Expansion of our product capacities are core to our decision making. In the past 2 months, we've began deliveries of Model Y from Gigafactory Texas and Gigafactory Berlin. Now, one thing that most people didn't know, unless they were reading the earnings reports, Tesla has 4 models of cars, plus the Cybertruck, plus the Roadster that's due to come out, plus the Tesla semi-truck. They also have the Fremont factory, the Berlin factory, the Shanghai factory, and the Texas factory. Out of the 4 cars that they make, out of the 4 factories they own, they're only producing at 50% capacity at 50% of the factories. What does that mean? They aren't even at full strength. They've got factories that aren't even producing their main car. And yet they're at record vehicle deliveries. That is insane. Crazy, guys. Like, the potential is actually, basically, they're doing this with one arm tied behind their back. That's basically what they're doing. And especially in Germany. So again, if you've read the airlines reports, you'll know that in Germany, they're planning on releasing a smaller, cheaper, and more affordable Tesla to match European car tastes. So that's potentially a Tesla that could be around 15 to 18,000 euros. Will that fly off the shelves? I think it will. So challenges around supply chain have remained persistent, and our team has navigated through them for over a year. In addition to chip shortages, recent COVID-19 outbreaks have been weighing in on our supply chain and factory operations. Furthermore, pieces of some raw materials have increased, which is lithium, which, again, if you're a blockchain student, we've definitely been saying about investing in lithium. Why? Because there's a shortage of lithium. And how do we know that? Because Elon Musk has told us this. And so there's a shortage of lithium. There is not enough lithium for all the major car companies in the world to start producing electric cars at the same capacity that Tesla is currently producing. That's very interesting. So we would like to, everyone, so this is why I'm very convinced that Tesla is going to buy a lithium mine. And the one that I think they're going to buy, it's called SQM. It's on my watch list. It's at a very nice price right now. This is mad game that I'm giving you right here. Please do your own research on this. And the main reason I say SQM is because these guys have one of the biggest deposits for lithium in the world in their mines. So you might want to research them. Go have a look at SQM. Anyway, back to the report. So in terms of revenues, what's been happening? As we can see just here, the revenues are increasing quarter by quarter. Year on year, what does that mean? In comparison to this time last year, how much of has their revenue increased by? 87%, which is pretty crazy. Then we have their adjusted EBITDA. Some of you may know what that is. Some of you may not know what that is. It's actually earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization is up 173%. But here is the crazy thing, because this thing keeps increasing, and I don't know how they're doing it. Their net income is up 658%. Let me just stretch this out on the screen, because that is wild. Like, companies don't do that. Your net income, like, that's ridiculous to have your net income increase 658% in a year. Like, they were at 438 million in net income this time last year, and people thought they were overvalued. They're now at 3.3 billion in one quarter, and still people think they're overvalued, considering they're not even producing from all the factories with all the cars that they have. But, you know, now the next very interesting thing is a very healthy company will always have lots of cash on reserve. Why? Just in case anything changes in the business, it means that they now have the cash to go and cover that problem. Their cash has increased year on year by 143%, which means they're in a very, very healthy position. Okay, so ultimately, revenue has increased year on year to 18 billion for this quarter. Growth in group vehicle deliveries, increased average selling price, which is crazy that they put the price up. Profitability, growth in vehicle deliveries. Their margin has increased 19.2%. And again, why has their margin improved? Because now, instead of having multiple parts to what makes up their batteries, to what makes up the car, they can actually now they've rearranged the whole factory, and it allows them to make most of the car as singular parts instead of having loads of parts. They just have singular parts in a die-cast mold that they just put as one thing, and they can integrate the batteries into the chassis of the car, which reduces their margins, increases their margins crazily. So that's a massive, massive, massive thing there. Okay, cool. So here we go. Here you'll see about the car production of what I was saying earlier. So we can see here the Model S and the Model X. 0 of this car were produced in Q1 2021. Then we can see the Model 3 and Model Y was at 180,000 Model 3 and Model Y they produced in Q1 2021. And a whole year later, that is now at 291,189, which is a bit of a jump, which, yeah, in 1 year to ramp up your production like that. And as we can see now, what's happening with the Model S and Model X production, they've now started producing Model S and Model X, and it's still nowhere near the capacity that they can actually get it to, which, if I was a competitor car company, I would be very, very afraid. Now, my favorite bit to look at is always the solar deployed, because I know that they've got big plans for their Bitcoin mining. So we can see that they've pulled back on their solar deployment for this quarter. It's actually dropped by 48%, but the solar storage deployed is actually up 90%, which again is pretty good. Supercharger stations are still continuing to increase up. Why is that great for Tesla? Because Tesla are open to letting other car companies use their charging stations. Now, in terms of, again, now you'll be able to see the breakdown of what I'm talking about. Here is the revenues models that they have. The Cybertruck, the Tesla Semi, the Roadster, and the future product, which is going to be the AI robot, are all in development. But the Model S and Model X, only 100,000 units come from California. Then the Model 3 and Model Y in California producing 500,000. And then they've got Berlin and Texas, which aren't even producing them. And they've got Shanghai just doing the Model 3 and the Model Y. It's not even doing the Model S and the Model X. What happens if they start producing the Model S and Model X in China? We all know. Like, it's a wrap. Like, this company is the definition of an incredible earnings report. It's kind of a bit unfair that I'm showing you this one, because most companies' earnings reports will never look this good, ever. So what people don't realize about Elon Musk is he's not only an amazing genius, he's an incredible business operator. Like, phenomenal. Like, probably one of the best ever in history, whether that's him, his team, but yeah, just killer guy, this guy. So what do we want to read? Just want to quickly read this bit. So in April 2022, we began Model Y deliveries from our new factory in Austin, Texas. Our Cyber Rodeo opening party, we delivered the first vehicles from the 4860 house, made cells, single piece front body castings, and structural batch packs. This is an important milestone for our capacity growth efforts. Later this year, we expect Gigafactory Texas to be able to produce Model Ys using both structural packs with 4860 pounds cells as well as non-structural packs. What is he saying? He's saying that the Model Ys are now going to start coming out of the Texas factory. So if the California factory can do 500,000 of Y and 3, expect the Texas factory and the Berlin factory should be able to do the same thing. So autopilot and full self-driving, very interesting area, because we're going to be talking about AI today. Full self-driving beta development continued with 7 software updates in 2022. Our team continued to work in reducing disengagements, particularly focusing on unprotected left turns and smoothness of the ride through reduction of slowdown events. We're aiming to release full self-driving beta to all US full self-driving customers before the end of this year. Again, please note this, because this changes a lot for Uber drivers, for delivery drivers, for a lot of people. This means you could be a delivery driver where your car is driving itself and work on other things at the same time. So now the Tesla is truthfully becoming an asset. It's the only car that is actually an asset, because once full self-driving happens, the intention for Tesla is that you're going to be able to just lease them out and let them go and do taxi rides all day and then come back to you.
Imagine Uber, but there's no driver.
That's gonna happen.
A self-driving Tesla.
Yep.
So you can make your car work for you 24 hours a day.
Mad. Mad. That will happen. And that is, and there is no other competitor in the self-driving space that is in a position to do that apart from Tesla.
Yo, rappers, hear me out, right? Legendary clip. Let it be known. In the future, by the way, I've got some really good chicken nuggets. Oh my God. So rappers, hear what I'm saying. What I'm gonna do in the future is I'm gonna get a self-driving Tesla when it's available on, say, Uber or Bolt or what have you, and then advertise mine and my boy's music on it.
Jeez, that's a flex. That's a flex.
And it's gonna advertise, have blockchain sensei. So I'm even gonna control the media inside my vehicle.
Yo, let's put something out there. Yo, Ollie, we're gonna need your help to get a leverage buyout so that we can buy up bare people's Teslas and start our own fleet of Tesla taxis, self-driving ones, and then force people to listen to the music that we want them to. And
audio and podcast and news.
Yeah, so people will just be getting financial literacy in our Ubers. That'd be mad. That'd be mad. So anyway, so here is the reason why the solar is down. Now, again, if you're not reading the earnings report, you can't find out this information. Solar deployments decreased by 48% in Q1 to 48 megawatts. This reduction was caused by important delays beyond our control on certain solar components. Solar roof deployments continue to grow year on year. Cash and loan sales account for nearly all deployments. There we go. Services and other gross margin remain close to break even. Year-on-year improvement was driven by strong used car sales as well as growth in merchandise. Our insurance business. Yeah. I heard that this had happened, but I don't remember this going live. Okay, if this is now live, yeah, it's over. How are you gonna have insurance, your own insurance on your own car company that's gonna be self-driving, that's gonna be safer than human drivers? This guy is ridiculous.
It's a wrap.
Like, it's just, oh yeah, I've gone through enough of that report there.
Can I just recommend some content? Because like, I feel like there always needs to be an entry point for people to get into things, right? So one of my favorite crypto influencers is a lady called Crypto Finally. Check out her 2018 or 2019, I believe, lecture on cryptocurrency and media. But her entry point, does anyone know? For those that know Crypto Finally, I'm sure some people here do. Do you know, Mr. Harding, her entry point into crypto?
No.
Literally, she saw Katy Perry getting nails done, and then like each nail was a crypto, like XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin.
Oh, your signal went jumpy, bro.
Yo, can you hear me now? Hello?
I think it's Harden. You're coming through fine.
Yeah, we could still hear you. But your video was just a little jaggy.
Oh man.
Well, I heard it. I heard what you were saying though.
Wait. Are you back?
I'm back.
Okay, amazing. Anyway, it was literally Katy Perry, right? So for those that know, like, you'll relate. I don't want to be too explicit because we're on a financial literacy education edutainment platform. But for those that are not tapped into Elon Musk and Tesla, the number one content that I reckon, well, for a certain demographic of people, is check out the Joe Rogan one.
Katy Perry?
No. Elon Musk and Joe Rogan. Basically, where it gets high with Joe.
Oh, okay.
Because like basically Tesla and Elon Musk are two entities slash a person and a business that if you pay attention to these companies, you'll benefit your life. You literally benefit your life because you then keep more up to date with real shit, mind my French, that's happening in the world. Like whatever stage you are in finances, all my crypto people, meme coiners, like medical people, law people, Elon Musk is changing the world, right? Rappers, like, and there needs to be an entry point to paying attention to somebody like him. So for some people, I just recommend the Joe Rogan and Elon Musk one, where they get super high and talk about things. And then I'll be honest, that was my entry point to Elon Musk. And then I started paying attention to Elon Musk and Tesla more, and it paid off in my investments. So I just want to bring like a high level point where try to find the entry point, like find things that are important to know, and then find your end, like how you're going to get there. Like I literally knew Elon Musk and Tesla was important to pay attention to in summer 2020 when I was having my financial awakening in the pandemic, right? Because financial literacy is the new woke. And I was like, what is the most interesting thing? It's not the earnings report, right? I just need to listen to him and Joe Rogan for 3 hours, and then I can become interested. And then I started dollar cost averaging into Tesla. I never told that story before. But yeah, find an access point to important information, whether it be hypercharts, the earnings report, or just an interview or whatever. And then you'll start aligning yourself with what's
every one of his interviews, he spills game about stuff that's going on in his companies and stuff that he's doing. So you can't really lose there. But yeah, let's get these interviews going. Well, not interviews, more conversations. First up, we'll talk to Mr. Adam Powell, and then we'll
How's
talk
everyone?
to Moses. Hello, Adam. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
You might as well. I've been talking for ages, so you might as well tell everyone.
Wait. Actually, could Moses go first, because he needs to put his kids to bed at 9 p.m. He actually told me that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay,
Yeah.
go on then, Moses.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you, bro. Sorry about overrunning a little bit there.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. I found it very interesting and very engaging, man. I was actually enjoying the news segment and the earning reports there, bro. So yeah, thank you for updating me, man. Appreciate it.
No worries, brother.
Yeah, man.
Tell the crowd a little bit about yourself and your journey in crypto. Well,
yes.
in blockchain more so.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for being here. I hope everyone's good. So my journey into crypto and blockchain really began, as I'm sure it did for most people, in 2020. I got a phone call from my brother saying, listen, I'm about to invest in some of this crypto, what you saying? And obviously I was aware of crypto. I've been in IT for a minute. At the time, I wasn't working in IT, but I'd been in IT for a minute. I was aware of crypto. But the tech stack was just so deep. I just never really got around to fully wrapping my head around it. You know, I read a few web pages and I thought, oh, okay, that's enough for me. Anyway, 2020 comes around. I get a phone call. You're gonna invest in crypto? I say, sure, why not? Got some money. I'll put in with you, bro. I'm about to hit the buy button on some ETH, and then I realize I don't know what I'm buying. I've got no idea. I've got no idea why I'm buying this. I understand that it's a currency, but how? From where? How is it being used? Do you know what I mean? In what context is it a currency? So I just go nuts, man. And because this is the kind of person I am, I went mad. I just bought a whole bunch of books, started reading. Also, you know, time is of the essence here. We're trying to invest in this stuff. And so I'm just reading and reading.
So am I correct in saying that you did not buy and you stopped yourself? So you didn't even buy a little bit?
Yeah, I didn't buy anything, man. I didn't buy anything.
That's what y'all should be doing.
Yeah, I didn't buy a thing because I didn't understand, and I've just got that thing in me. Like, I guess, you know, it's a gift and a curse, you know, because you get some people that go ahead and chuck grands down on Dogecoin, which eventually becomes $5 billion. I don't know if you lot ever saw that last year. Some guy threw $8 grand down on Dogecoin and I made $5 billion. But I just got that thing in me that just won't let me do it until I understand what it is that I'm buying. And I finally understood what Ethereum was, finally understood what Bitcoin was, even though I knew, you know, it's a currency, it's on a blockchain, but what does that mean? What is a blockchain? You know, what is cryptography? You know, what are consensus mechanisms? All of this kind of thing. And so, yeah, got round to it, man, and finally bought myself some Ethereum and one other altcoin that I'm a big fan of, which is Engine coin. So those were the first 2 coins that I bought, man.
Don't say that
That's
around
like one of
Ninja.
my favorites, bro. Are you aware that the CTO basically co-written the NFT code? You know about that, right?
I know that the CTO wrote the ERC 1155.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
the foundation
Yeah.
of the NFT code.
Yeah. Well, ERC 721's the original, and then you got ERC 1155, which which is compatible with blockchain games and actually allows you to make the token both. It allows you to make the that particular token, you can have an NFT which has value stored in it.
Because you actually have to lock up X amount of engine coins, which take down the circulating supply, which pushes up the engine coin price.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Which is absolutely crazy.
Finally,
man.
someone who understands.
Hey, Ninja's excited, man. Yeah, no, this is how, honestly, Ninja, this is how I felt as well, because I thought it was blowing my mind the way Engine move, the way they do things, man. I was just mad respect to them lot over there. So yeah. Those were the first 2 tokens that I bought, man. Oh yeah, and I bought some Bitcoin, of course. I bought a little bit of Bitcoin.
Wait, you bought Engine Coin in summer 2020?
Yeah, so I bought Engine Coin when it was around 15 pence, man.
Wow, and, I started getting bullish on it in December 2020.
Yeah.
By January 2021, I was like, this is the coin, guys.
Well, the thing is about it is we realized that when we understood what crypto was and how it would make a difference in people's lives digitally, we knew that gaming would be the place where it would make a massive difference. And you guys have probably heard it before. When you're playing Call of Duty or GTA, you're putting money into these games and you're not getting anything back other than what you buy, right, on the game. You lose your account, that's the end of it. They kick you out the game, that's the end of it. There's no value to be sort of like redeemed. Do you know what I'm saying? In other than you just playing the game. And when we saw what Engine Coin were doing, we were like, this is the way it's going. This is the way it's going for sure. So yeah, man. Yeah, you got the Engine chart up there.
Yo, I was putting people on
Just had
Engine.
to like show people where it was at back then.
Yo,
yeah.
I was shilling a 35x. I've never claimed that, but this footage and content of me talking about Engine Coin in January 2021, you can ask all the original students. I gave 35x, not financial advice.
It's mad that Engine's down, but if you invested in May 2020, you're still
up, man. You're still up
1,000%.
It's just, and so they've got I know this isn't an Engine segment, but just to, because I'm such a big fan of the team and what they're doing over there. So they've got 2 other blockchains. One of them is called JumpNet, which is a blockchain that's free to mint. You can mint NFTs free on there. It's really for game developers.
Whoa. Say
mad
that
game.
slowly.
Yeah. So you've got JumpNet, which is really built for game developers, because what they wanted to do, what Engine's plan was to become the Ethereum of the gaming sphere, so to speak. So they wanted you to be able to transact value in their games over a blockchain. And so Engine created JumpNet. I think it was last year they released JumpNet. And at some point, they've got another blockchain coming, which is called the Affinity blockchain.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is a polka dot parachain, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's built using Substrate, which is part of the polka dot technology stack, and which will make. Sorry, I just had to plug in my laptop there. Which will hopefully make the whole NFT space more interoperable. So the plan is.
Wait. You explain for people that haven't got a clue what you're talking about, what interoperability is.
Right. So at the moment, you've got NFTs that exist on Ethereum. You've got NFTs that exist on Solana. You've got NFTs that exist on other blockchains, right? And so because they exist on other blockchains where their source code is essentially is very different. When you're moving one token from one blockchain to another, they have to go over a bridge, and some hard coding is done so that the receiving blockchain understands that an NFT has been sent from one blockchain to another. You normally see this with tokens, but what Affinity want to do is, I'm guessing it would work in a similar way, but they want to make the Affinity blockchain the network for NFTs. And what I mean by that is Facebook is the network for staying connected with people. That's the place where you go. If you were looking for someone at one point, you might go to Facebook and type in their name and find them there. That's what Affinity wants to become for NFTs. So it's mad. And then also, if you're an engine holder, the question was, what about engine? Are you just abandoning us? Is our token, is the value of the engine token going to go to zero? No. First of all, the engine token and engine NFTs will be compatible with Affinity. And also you can use engine, you can stake engine for Affinity tokens. So if you're an engine holder, the plan and the hope for the engine team as well is that you can stake your engine coin and earn Affinity tokens so that you can, utilize the Affinity blockchain as well. So yeah, man. The team is just a phenomenal team. When they say they're going to do something, they get it done. They're not messing around. And that's another thing I like about them. A lot of the time within the blockchain and the crypto space, you get a lot of delays, which is fine. In engineering, there's delays. In software development, there's delays. But these guys always seem to drop their announcements when they're just about ready, right? They've got the timing right. So they know they're ready, but they're telling you, we'll be ready in 3 months. But they know they're ready.
Can we ask you a question about, being as you're a developer,
Yeah.
can we ask you a question about, because I already know about one of your first blockchain projects and about why you're interested in engine and gaming. Do you want to explain to the audience what your first project was?
So I'm gonna say this, a little disclaimer, like Michael's bigged me up in a big way, man, and I respect you for that, man, and I appreciate that. My first crypto project was, and I like to call it really basic compared to what's out there. It was literally a betting game. It was pretty much a roulette game. So essentially, you guess a number, and if the roulette returns the number that you've guessed, then you earn double the crypto that you've deposited as a bet. So I did this twice. The first time I did it on my own, without knowing any of the security measures that I need to put in. So someone could have just literally drained the smart contract of all the P's in there, right? And but it never went live. It was all testnet. And then the second time I did it as my final project for my with the consensus bootcamp, and that one had all the security measures in place, but I still didn't put it out there because I felt like it was really simple for someone who's working on their own. It is a play to earn game. The plan was that all of the crypto that went into a pot would basically end up going towards staking for ETH 2.0. So for everybody who had actually, so it was a win-win, really. If you played the game and you didn't get anything back, that's fine, because the fraction of the crypto that you deposited will go towards staking on an ETH2 node. So that was the plan for that, man. And but then I quickly moved on from there because I felt like, okay, I could get this done, but I had a really, there was stuff going on around me, and I felt like, well, since I truly believe this is where things are going, I had another idea that I started to pursue. Yeah, man, and that's the idea that I'm pursuing today.
Oh, love that. So for those of you that don't know who Consensus is and you're in crypto, you need to know who Consensus are because they make MetaMask. So if someone says, this is a quick way of testing if someone actually knows about what they're talking about in crypto, ask them, what do you think of Consensus? then ask them, oh, okay, what do you think of the owner of Consensus? Because the owner of Consensus is Joseph Lubin, who's one of the original founders of Ethereum. Hence why he knows how to make MetaMask. Now, what the interesting bit is about Consensus and the fact that they own MetaMask and the fact that they are working with Joseph Lubin is that they are part invested in by JP Morgan. Isn't that funny that Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, says that crypto is a waste of time? Yet it's just, what I was talking about earlier about consistency. It's just like, come on, guys, like be consistent in what you're saying with what you're doing. And that's
I suppose they don't want to scare their customers off, man. Because if they told them what's really going on, a lot of people would be selling their funds into crypto, right? Selling their hard-earned cash into crypto, withdrawing and investing in Bitcoin and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not surprised.
Thing that we have to highlight about Consensus is these three bad boys right here. Guys, just understand, right? OpenSea is very reliant on MetaMask, but MetaMask is part owned by Coinbase Ventures, and they now have their own NFT platform. Just saying, it could get very sticky. If they want to beef, they can just take their legs off. So, like, people just don't realize these little key bits of information you can only really get from reading. People aren't on YouTube like we are talking about this. Like, you are not going to hear this on YouTube. Period. Only on this show. Period. But yeah, thank you very much, Moses. Really, really, really appreciate you sharing a little bit about your journey. Definitely, I know you've got to shoot at 9, but are you able to stay another 5?
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna stick around because I met Adam at the last DLT event, not the last one, the one before. He's a really interesting guy, man. So I'm gonna be on mute, listening in the background and doing what I have to do, man. So yeah, appreciate you guys.
Love. Thank you very much. This is not the last
man.
you're gonna be hearing from Moses. We definitely have him on. He's definitely be answering questions with us in future. So next up, let's go talk to Mr. Adam Powell. How you doing, buddy?
Hi there, Mike. I'm pretty good. How you doing?
I'm amazing. Welcome to the game. The game has gone up to a new level by having the likes of yourself and Moses on the show. I'll let you also just say a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Yeah, I'll give you some background. So my main background is in e-commerce and in data science and machine learning. So I focused on computer vision in my career. And then about 18 months ago, I decided crypto is going to be big. Let's ride this tidal wave. So I decided to do a master's in blockchain. I found the University of Nicosia, which is in Cyprus, and they have the longest running blockchain course that's fully accredited masters in Europe. So I've been doing that and just finished that a few weeks ago. And I'm now in the consulting space, and I'm happy to share any of my knowledge or thoughts with you guys.
Wow.
Wait. We need to celebrate. Can we get as much cams as possible and get some claps? This guy's just finished the masters in blockchain, guys. Come on.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Come on, guys. This is like one of the world leaders, like corporate accredited, what have you, with the paperwork. We don't have the paperwork. We're just guys on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. Like if you ever want advice, you need to just say, but have you got an Adam now? Have you got a Mr. Powell?
The way I look at it, okay. When I look at it, there's the people that know the most actually are the people who have just been living crypto day to day. especially in the niches like in NFTs, for example. You guys eclipse my knowledge. So I think the masters is more for just giving you a really broad knowledge and a knowledge that connects to the legacy system. So there's a continuity between my knowledge of the way the banking system works and how crypto interacts with it and what the direction crypto is going in.
Nice. But what would you say? Let's get into it. We want to just use some of the conversations that we had privately, and dive into them.
Far away.
Who is Satoshi in your opinion?
I don't. Well, I have a few ideas, but I would rather the Satoshi never appear. I think he's better as an anonymous figure, and even the people who claim to be Satoshi. I think the whole community, especially around main Bitcoin, has shifted so far away from the original character of Satoshi into this mythos of Satoshi that even if the original was to appear, it wouldn't matter as long as they didn't have control of their private keys. And that's where you get into all the conspiracy theories that there is someone or a group that has control of these keys and they have an agenda of some kind, and they are going to do something at some point when crypto becomes too big to fail in the global financial system. But I don't subscribe to that. But I think it's interesting to entertain these ideas.
I like entertaining conspiracy theories because most of them that I believe in tend to come real, unfortunately. So my theory is that it's Hal Finney and that he's dead. And if not, then it's bad news, because then my opinion would be that it's a Chinese weapon to destabilize the American financial system and help with the changing world order, which, if it is that weapon, it's doing a great job. So that's
unfortunately, or fortunately.
Yeah, that's my take on that one. So another question based on something we were talking about before. What would you say is a key area of blockchain that's undervalued and that people probably don't look at?
So I'm particularly interested in DAOs and their potential to completely reshape how people organize anything. So any group of people with a goal, you can say with DAOs just at the minute, if you have 100 strangers that meet and have the aim of, we like this digital artist, they can collectively, without any trust required, create a DAO, an investment DAO, and buy something. And at no point in that stage, it's technically possible to be ripped off if the smart contracts are hack proof, that is. So that type of thing, I think, is going to expand. There'll be organizational Lego bricks that will be built and tested and time tested, and they'll be put together, and eventually you'll end up with this alternative to the idea of a company and just employment in general. We'll build this system, the rules without rulers based system that is parallel to the legally enforced version of a company. I think this is going to be fascinating to watch.
So, as you're quite knowledgeable in DAOs, and I think we've made it public before that Blockchain Sensei is one day going to have a DAO, are you open to helping us create the Blockchain Sensei DAO? So
I'm definitely open. Go for it. Send lots of ideas to me, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are and what I think you should do and not do.
Let's go.
Imagine the Blockchain Sensei DAO where everybody watching is an owner of Blockchain Sensei, where we can all make money together on all the corporate stuff we do, all the retail stuff we do. It would mean that everyone owns it. It means that we're all growing together. Everyone plays a part in Blockchain Sensei. They all own it. It's a machine that we all contribute and own to. I think that I've never seen been done before. I know EYL are definitely working on something similar, but I'd prefer that they get it done first, and then we'll just copy them.
Just take the blueprint, because we took enough of their blueprint. I'm not even ashamed to say that without I'm not going to say that without EYL there would be no blockchain sense. I don't want to go that far, but I'm going to say that we definitely learn a lot, and the game is literally inspired by Market Mondays for sure.
100%. And shout out, the second episode of the interview with Ian Dunlap should be coming soon.
Yes,
Hopefully by the end of, well, not the end of this month, probably the start of next month sometime. So shout out. So yeah, another question for you, Adam, based on a conversation I've had with you, which was mind-blowing, was about AI. So what's your thoughts on AI and investing, AI and just and crypto, AI and the world? What's your kind of thoughts and knowledge? And
okay. So there's a few big things that have been happening in AI recently. If you haven't tracked it, the most exciting new models in existence are generative models, and these models, especially focusing on text or images at the minute. And a generative model can create something. The newer ones can create something based on a prompt. So for a text-based model, a famous one was GPT-3. I think it came out last year or maybe a bit earlier. And it's if you give it a prompt, it can continue on that prompt, and that prompt can be anything. It could be fill in the gap between these words. It could be write another paragraph on this theme. It could be write an entire article on a certain theme. It could be improve my grammar, rewrite this statement in a nicer way. There's many prompts that you can give to it, and it's smart enough to actually do this reasonably well, to the point where the majority of what it produces, people think is produced by other people. So if you look at some of the examples, it can be quite shocking, actually. And there are other models. GPT-4, there was announced that it would have 500 times more parameters in the model, 500 times bigger, basically, and it could be another leap in quality that could be good enough to replace most writing work that people can do, if not all writing work. So that's going to completely disrupt the world in ways that are even hard to predict. And the other model I was talking about is the visual one, and the state of the art is called DALL-E 2, and it's a generative model that takes a text prompt. So you tell it, draw me a picture of a cat in space on a rainbow, and it will produce a cat in space on a rainbow. And at first glance, it looks like it's produced by a professional artist. And there is no previously existing cat on a rainbow. So it's actually generated this from scratch. This is a nice example, a Shiba Inu dog. It looks like a photograph, maybe slightly synthetic, but if you scroll through Twitter here and see some of the other examples, it gets crazier and crazier. There's an otter in the style. So that's a famous Vermeer painting. It's got an otter in it instead. So if you can imagine what this could do to the NFT space, if you want to make a collection of NFTs, there's one there, for example. This is bowls of soups that look like monsters. You could call it the Monster Soup NFT collection, and you could create 1,000 monster soups in the space of a few seconds, create an NFT project. It's going to mean the supply of NFTs is going to explode, and it's currently constrained by how much time artists can put into it and how much it costs to create the art, but that cost is going to go down to zero almost. What will remain is a lot of the networks and a lot of the meaning behind the NFTs and the people and brands that are connected to the NFTs. I think the value is going to be in those more than the actual artwork, because at some point, maybe even at this point, it's impossible to tell if it's done by a human or not. For example, that's astronaut on a horse in space.
Unless I'm gonna go all Gary V. I start literally documenting the entire process, and then their art pieces come with the behind the scenes. I just gave away loads of things on property. If you're an artist and you deep what I just said, and like documentation is going to become even more important.
Yeah, I think that's a key outcome of this. If you can have the documentation of how you created the NFT, people will probably start demanding that whenever it's not known if
That's
it's
gonna
just
become
automatically created
standard.
or not.
Yeah, let me just predict that's gonna become standard procedure now. It's like
Yeah.
there's no behind the scenes then.
Then yeah, it's not created by
Then
a
it
human.
wasn't created by a human.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or there will be probably websites that will allow you to figure out if it's created by a human or not. It'll run an algorithm on it and it'll say this is synthetic or not. But that's hard also to that's easy also to fake. If that becomes where the value is selected, then people will fake write algorithms to fake it. So you just have this arms race between the generative algorithms and the artists trying to prove who is got the artificial scarcity, right? And at the end game, I think the algorithms will just get so close to reality that you can just say anything and get a flawless version of it in front of you. So it's super fascinating what that will do. The second order, third order effects of that are hard to predict, but it's going to be a very interesting world whenever what we see and even video and audio and everything can be deep faked and synthetically generated by anyone just at a prompt. What is true, what is not true? How do you tell?
For the Queen. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
I've got a conspiracy theory that I love shilling. That's why.
Okay.
I'm trying to get people to not take me seriously because yeah, but there's a reason behind that as well. But yeah, we'll come to that at another point. Yeah, so thank you very much, Adam, for that. I feel you've enlightened a few people because we've had an episode where we touched on GPT-3 before, but I don't feel people really grasp the extent of the power of this technology, and I feel people often feel it's quite far away, all this technology and deep fake technology. And I keep trying to tell people, no. Like
it's here. Yeah.
It's here already. And one of the things I discussed with you is that having come from an acting background and read tons of scripts and reading tons of earnings reports, as you guys know, I've started noticing there's a bit of your gut doesn't really lie. Your gut's not wrong when it comes to distinguish. You just get like a feeling of when something's created by a computer and when it's created by a human. And I've seen a few websites and a few white papers, and I'm starting to think that some of them are created by AI really quickly so that they can get them out and pump them and create money. Is there possibility and is there room that there is AI powerful enough to just quickly create tokens, projects, and white papers for people?
Yeah, completely. So with GPT-3, if you prime it in the right way, and a lot of startups are building on top of, so it's the company's called OpenAI that is at the forefront of a lot of this, and they have APIs, and they released GPT-3 there to the public, and you can build a startup on top of it and design the prompts in a way that can make a really useful tool. So I've seen tools for script writing, for fiction writing. I've seen tools for making marketing copy that's more effective. I've seen tools for writing entire articles for you, ones that are maybe more of a hybrid process where it's suggesting the next few sentences and then you can select from options. So it's almost like a back and forward with you and the algorithm. And all of these things, the idea of making a paper, a white paper from scratch within minutes that's tailored to a particular idea using this. I'm sure it's currently possible using the tools that are out there and the startups that are there. And the latest model I seen was called Palm. And that model was another leap on top of GPT-3. And it's, as far as I can tell, like almost flawless compared to the average amount of the average article I read. It's as good as it, and it's on target. You tell it to do something, and it will do it more or less perfectly, like 90% of the time.
Was that Palm as in PALM?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
But the danger with that, and the danger of Twitter, now becomes a big issue.
Oh yeah.
Like, if I think Elon has good intentions, and I'm sure he's aware of OpenAI, and he's very aware of the power of AI, and he's always
He helped
talking
find
about,
it actually.
yeah, he's always talking about policing it and it needs regulating. But my opinion, if now he's the owner of Twitter, if he doesn't apply some kind of mechanism that shows when the Twitter account is AI, it's going to get very messy.
Yeah, there already are bots, and he tweeted recently there that he wanted to get rid of the spam bots. And to do that, you have to prove someone is human, or you have to make it make some mechanism that it makes it costly if something is likely to be spam. And people only, what is spam? Things are spam only if people feel they are spam, right? If an algorithm creates content that is useful to you, it's not spam. So,
well, that's
maybe
interesting
there'll be
that you say that, because wouldn't it be interesting if someone had to log into Twitter through a digital avatar or a digital identity that they had to provide the KYC for through a KYC wallet? I wonder who would create a KYC wallet that would fit into Twitter. Oh yeah, Jack Dorsey, that used to own Twitter, he's creating a KYC digital hard wallet and wallet, who also just gave some shares of his just sold some Twitter stock to Elon Musk. What are the chances of that? And they're also working on Bitcoin mining together for Tesla. It's conspiracy theory, but
you can be sure they're all aware of what everyone else is doing in those circles, and they're chatting to each other. So it doesn't take much to come up with a theory connecting the people. Yeah, they're likely to be doing something.
100%. And I think one of the things, I'm a massive fan of Cathie Woods, and her stock is getting absolutely demolished at the moment. But one of the things that she keeps talking about, that I keep seeing, is this convergence, that these new emerging technologies are converging. AI, 3D printing, pharmaceuticals, and blockchain technology are all three massive life-changing disruptors that are now converging together. And the exponential growth that is possible from this is like, all you just gotta think is combining DALL-E with a 3D printer.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah. The 3D printing is something that when it gets mature enough, it'll mean that every single item, there's no added cost to make it unique or customized to you. So the world we're currently living in with IKEA furniture, where everything is identical for everyone, that's because it's cheaper, right? If people want unique clothes, they want unique look, they want to show their identity and express themselves, and all that is going to be possible in our environments through 3D printing. And with generative algorithms, the cost of designing it is going to be low. With blockchain, we're going to have an ability to transfer value to people. Maybe people want to identify with certain brands, and in that they own the IP for a certain generative algorithm, and then you can use that to make something. It'll all be interconnected somehow. Yeah.
Adam, thank you ever so much for giving us your time. What we're going to do is go to some questions, because I'm sure there is some people on the call that have got questions for yourself, Moses, myself. If you've got a question, guys, just raise your hand. And then we'll unmute your mic, and then we'll start taking questions. That includes the usual. If there's a project that you're looking at that you want us to do some quick TA on and look at the charts for it, just raise your hand, and we'll go to that. Other than that, we'll just literally pick people at random and go from there.
First person I want to ask a question is Ashley Pierre, because he's always got an intelligent question. Shout out St. Jerome, Ashley, our researcher. 2 episodes out now where he breaks down Taraxa and Terra Virtua. Hopefully he's still here.
Hopefully.
Saying, Jerome, actually, you there? Oh, he might be working a night shift, you know. Sometimes he can't talk because he's literally working a night shift.
Oh, damn. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's go to Antonio. He's like, oh, damn, not me.
No, I told
Antonio,
you,
give
no.
me
I
a
was literally just messaging.
Okay.
Sorry, I've got no question at the moment. I was just asking about a project.
Okay, there's no worries. Yeah, what's the project?
So called Step N or Step N. I don't know how you pronounce it. Part of the
Oh, is
Solana
this one of these stepping projects like Sweatcoin?
Yeah,
where you
so
earn crypto.
Yeah.
Walking.
Yeah, I kind of want to know you guys' opinion on that and what your thoughts were. Because this is what I'm researching at the moment.
I've done no research on it, so I have no opinion.
I'm
Okay.
aware of it a bit. I read an article about it, and I think a lot of these coins are interesting from many perspectives. From the positive perspective, you know, they're trying to do something good and get people outdoors. They're almost using people's movement or the amount of steps as a proof of work. It's like proof of work mining, but for people. And I find that interesting as well. But when you look at the tokenomics of a lot of these systems, they're set up in a way that it doesn't seem sustainable. There's always seems to be more and more tokenomics trying to lock people in for longer and longer and to entice people to keep the value in the system, because as soon as it starts leaving the system, normally the value, I think in Step N, it's stored in the NFT sneakers, and people will start, will look at the value of their sneakers and think, oh, they're going up, I can buy better sneakers, I can upgrade my sneakers so I can earn more Step N points. But as soon as that starts to trend downwards, everyone wants to realize the actual perceived value and they start selling. And then you get massive volatility in the value of all these things, because it starts, as soon as it starts heading down, it turns into Ponzi dynamics and people want to get out as fast as possible. But you know, the value could be in people's enjoyment of it as a game, and then you get the pay to earn model. And the pay to earn model, the biggest problem I see with it is that Ponzi type up and down pattern. But if some pay to earn model tries to eventually figures out how to smooth that out until the value is just represented by the value of the brand in the game, then that could be really, really interesting. But I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Even Axie is shot down, not just because of the hack as well.
Yeah, I would say
Very good
for me,
perspective.
on that side with anything like that, I would say if it's not from one of the big players, a brand or a company that's already prevalent and relevant, like Adidas, like Nike, or my favorite one that I love to mention, Pokemon Go, doing it, then I'm going to kind of stay away from it. But the moment Pokemon Go do their thing, yeah, I might be taking a break from Blockchain Sensei for about a year or two, because I've got Pokemon on here that I've had for 6 years.
Wow.
So you talking about Sweatcoin?
No, there's another one similar to Sweatcoin now.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Sweatcoin. Sweatcoin's funny. That's not even really a cryptocurrency at all, really.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one there. But being as you're talking, George, you got a question? Anything you're looking at? Being as you always put us onto some gold.
Nothing particularly looking at the moment, although I need some tips to probably go into right now. I've got some stable coins that way in, but just the thought I had as well, talking about the convergence of things and Elon Musk projects. Now I started thinking about Twitter and Neuralink.
Woo!
And just how obviously Twitter is
George.
He wants to go there.
I love George.
And then if we look at one of the other things you said in this already, if data is oil, and just the wealth of data and information on humanity that there is within Twitter, and just starting at the depths of just communication, how humans communicate, but also how their minds work as well. And then I don't even want to think about how many possibilities that creates for projects like Neuralink, but obviously how everything in the Musk sphere is interwoven. So yeah, And we talk about the robots, the AI robots. An AI robot, Neuralink is basically a brain, and then Twitter teaches how humans interact. You could literally have a humanoid AI robots with very human brains and are able to communicate perfectly. So unless there's a question, just there you go, there's a thought.
That's a thought that most of us didn't think of. And
yeah, I was not thinking about Neuralink. Like the link, you made the link.
Because he can just take every single Twitter profile, feed it into the AI that he's got, and then feed it back out into the droids that he's got. So he'll be able to create 1 million droids with 1 million different personalities.
The thing about Neuralink that I find interesting is you take the dystopian scenario. So currently Neuralink operates by recording information in your brain, taking it out. What happens whenever they decide to reverse the process, take information that's outside and put it in, and then you get things like uploading, like in the Matrix, right? Uploading kung fu. So that can be really interesting, I think. Or outsourcing your memory, like having the Neuralink operate like an external neural network that expands your brain capacity, right? So the biggest neural networks now, the one GPT-4 has been trained, is about the same size as the brain in terms of the number of parameters that would represent it. That's the first time that's been ever developed. Imagine if you had that connected through Neuralink into your brain, and that was interacting at a neurological level, what that would do to consciousness.
I've been saying this, and that's why I'm so my biggest concern of why I'm so passionate about financial literacy is because I do see a split in the human race, and it's going to be advanced humans and non-advanced humans. And if you don't have, it's not even going to be a case of, do you want to get Neuralink? If you don't get a brain enhancement, you are unable to keep up or be on the same level. It's literally going to create a new breed of human beings. It's like it's like in the book Homo Deus, and I think he was spot on in that book, where you've got Homo. Before we had there was multiple different versions of Homo sapiens, but we wiped them out because they weren't intelligent enough. And we had the Neanderthals and we had the Homo sapiens. And I think we're now going to go to the next level, whereby the uber elites are going to have access to an unparalleled, like an uncomprehendable level of intelligence. And if you don't have the money to access that, it's a whole different case of elitism. It's like a whole, literally a separate reality, especially when you combine it with AR and VR, can be created for uber elites because of the brain capacity that they could have. And that's my biggest worry is, that's a big concern for me. And I think that needs to be regulated.
I was going to come on to, I was actually thinking of Noah, what's his name? Noah Harari? Yeah,
that's one.
And the first time I actually properly knew about him was, I think Sapiens had just come out or something, but I actually went to like a lecture that he did. It was somewhere in London. I can't remember where. It was like one of the science institutes or something maybe. And even then, this was probably, I don't know, 2017 or before then or whatever. And I mean, even then, he's been involved with that for ages, but the whole thing was on this class separation of what the potential class separations are of human race and this that you've just mentioned, but also like the health side of it as well. Mm-hmm. And now we see who's sat along and is part of the Great Reset project. He's there sharing the stage. It's
not surprising.
It's the books we've written, but this is what I mean. So he's already been writing that future, and these futures have already been written, and the people that have written about these futures are now sat at the table creating that future. So what else is going to happen other than the futures that they've already written and talked about? If they're sat there making it.
Well, one of the good things about the whole crypto space is it offers an alternative to a lot of this. So you could say, that's the extreme version of what could happen, but we're currently at a level where we already have augmented brains. If you have your laptop or your phone, you have, to someone 100 years ago, you would seem like you already were augmented, right?
And 400 years before that, you would have got burnt for having a phone.
Indeed. And the good thing about crypto is it's decentralizing, right? So the metaverse, for example, when you add crypto into the metaverse, you could have this broad interoperable space where eventually no company controls one thing. Everyone can move to whatever part of the metaverse they want, and it can be run in a decentralized way. The same with asset value. Currently, it's all very centralized, whereas the metaverse, the cryptoverse, it allows everyone to be owners in the networks they add value to, which is incredibly decentralizing. It decentralizes the power of those networks to the individuals who actually use them. And that's an expectation that's being set, I think, in the whole crypto space. Even in blockchain sensei, you have token value in the projects you help. So if you win, they win. If they win, you win. This type of system, I think, it's much better, and it leads to a different future.
As long as it stays centralized, decentralized.
Decentralized, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as hopefully, but yeah. Let's go to
Thanks. That was a nice little conversation there. Thank you.
That was 10-10.
George, you did it again.
Always.
Vish, how you doing, buddy? Oh, you're a bit quiet. Testing. Oh, Vish, are you there? We had something. Okay, whilst you're sorting that out, we'll go to so sorry, Frost, what you saying, homie?
Yo. So Mr. Powell, you have dropped a lot of knowledge. That shit was great. It was great. Took my notes. So I'm actually thinking about the GPT-4 stuff you were mentioning, and looking whether or not I could even now implement it into my business. Because part of the services I offer is like graphic design and stuff. So is there currently the ability to, let's say, people want to input what graphics or what style or what they want into a system, and then that image immediately or relatively quickly generates what they're expecting and a few variations of that? And if so, where can I find it?
Okay, so the answer is yes and no. So the original DALL-E, the way the whole economy of this AI works is that OpenAI or Facebook or Microsoft or one of these tech leaders, they create the research and then they preview the technology. So they show you this is what's possible. And sometimes, like OpenAI, they come out with an API, and that allows you to send a request and get the output from the model. But they normally keep these in closed beta or even like an alpha just amongst the employees inside the company. And there's a few reasons they do this. The main one they say is to stop it having a bad impact on the world. So they show what's possible. They let people get used to it for a while. And normally what happens is the white papers or the research papers from these tools, they do publish those. And then the open source community re-implements a lot of the same ideas and recreates something which is more or less as good. And by the time the open source community has made something that's almost as good, then they just release it eventually to everyone. They make the API out of beta and they release it to everyone. So that's what has happened with GPT-3. It was made a few years ago, and they only recently made it a completely free open API for anyone to use. But the visual stuff that you'd be interested in as a graphic designer, the DALL-E 2 model, that is still in the closed beta. So only individuals that are selected and a small number of individuals are able to access it at the minute. But the paper, I believe, is out there, and there'll be people working on implementing that and training it. And this is somewhere where crypto can help, because if you imagine you need massive decentralized compute, and you want to, there are projects that could, for example, allow you to train an algorithm like this on massive data sets. So that's another interesting angle. But I expect this to be available for graphic designers to play with by end of next year. I think if it follows the same pattern as the previous models, end of next year, and then you can use it. So I have a friend who actually does illustration character design. I showed him this demo, and he said it would be perfect for like concepts. So whenever a client asks for a character to be drawn, he could use this to make 10 different concepts of that character, and then the client picks one, and then he uses that as the basis and then tweaks it a bit, adds their own style to it. And instead of taking a full day to do something, or 2 days, they could compress it down to 3 hours. So it would be more as a tool that will mean that they can do 3 times more work in the same space of time, and offer the client a lot more flexibility. And I think that type of tool, startups will be building this type of tool. You'll start seeing it end of next year, or maybe the start of the year after. Yeah.
But look out for some crazy Tesla car designs. Yeah, I think that's wow. So sorry, once you've got that in running, I can say that the Blockchain Sensei DAO will probably be investing.
Beautiful.
Vish, have you got your mic sorted?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you loud.
How are you lot? All right?
All good. Thanks for attending. We're extending the Q&A because
Yes.
we're getting into some very, very good questions and answers. So
I've been in crypto for a little while anyway. So I've been researching a coin called DAG, Constellation DAG. Have you lot heard of it?
Constellation.
It's a layer 0. It's not a layer 1 or a layer 2. It's a layer 0.
Okay.
So it's based on data. It's got a lot of great partnerships. One with the US Air Force as well, about sending data from their satellites up there down to here, and that data being encrypted and being secure.
Is it working with Starlink by any chance?
I'm not sure. I'll check with that, but it's something that I think you should have a look into. It's what a lot of people are on about at the moment.
Because this combined with Starlink, combined with helium, would be
exactly. I mine helium as well, so yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, and you can buy the miners.
So that's a door miner. That's only that's not what you can, as in that miner is something different. The actual miner is a node that they have a soft node where you can, I think you have to stake 250k worth of DAG tokens, and you get a certain return. I can't remember what it is, but that's the main thing. The door miner is something that they're using for, you put it onto a door and it checks how many customers and things that you have. It's been released recently, and I think, who was it? There's a first batch that I saw where someone's getting some great rewards on it at the moment. But this is a definitely great project to look into.
Oh, thank you very much.
There's a couple of, on their ecosystem, there's a couple of coins that they've got. One called Ads, which is called Alchemy, which is to do with advertising. One called Dodi, which is to do with gambling, casinos, things like that. They've got their exchange. I can't remember if it's a decentralized, it's a DEX, I'm sure. It's called Lattice Exchange as well. I think.
Oh, there it is,
yeah. And if the US Air Force are working with something, it has to be super secure, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I find this really interesting because, so for example, that door miner is part of a broader trend of crowdsourcing or incentivizing the crowdsourcing of a data set using crypto. So the idea is, I'm guessing you're going to have this footfall data set of where all of the people are walking, and that will be able to be sold somehow, and that will provide value to the token that rewards the miners that are going to collect that footfall data. And there's also lots of things like the helium mining is an example of using decentralized incentives to get people to provide a service, and a lot of these data-driven products are using things like that as well. Another one could be noise level. For example, you could have noise mining where you have something that records maybe at a low frequency noise and rumbling, and that can be used to plot noise pollution, and maybe governments would want that data.
There is one called Planet Watch, where you might have a look. You have these little sensors that you can put in, and you check the air quality, and then you send that. It sends data streams back, if that makes sense. So it checks how much carbon's in the air, how much CO2 is in the air, how much pollutants, things like that.
Oh, that's a great project.
I think you've seen EWT. Is that like that as well? Have you seen that? EWT like measures energy consumption and different. It's a big sustainability project. It might be quite similar to that.
I know KlimaDAO were trying to do something like that, but
so KlimaDAO were doing the carbon credits, weren't they? With
that was
thing. Unfortunately, that's not done very well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Anything with the word DAO on it at the moment, I'm a little bit like,
it's a Ponzi since the Time Wonderland scandal.
Yeah, I'm just a bit like, oh, now the word DAO just means like I can't turn it off in my head. Like the moment I hear the word DAO, I'm just a bit like, oh, another scam. But this one looks promising, especially being as they're backed by the US Air Force. That's as pretty much as big of a cosign that you can get, really. Okay, very interesting. Thank you very much for that, Vish.
No worries.
Major plug. The game in this this is what always happens. People never learn that the game always happens towards the end of the show. Obviously, there's a mad game at the start, but the craziest game is always towards the end. I think we've literally just got to ask 2 more people questions. So, Devon Hart, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for staying and enjoying this episode. Do you have any questions for ourselves, for Adam? Anything you enjoyed? Anything like that?
I appreciate all the game. I really would say for someone who has a good, solid foundation of the blockchain technology and the process of developing things, but they aren't traditionally trained in cryptography or solidity and things like that, how would they connect or get in contact with people who know how to do the developing on the crypto side?
Great question. I can answer that one. You could join the Blockchain Sensei Incubator, whereby very, very soon we're going to literally be hunting anyone that wants to develop in any shape, way, or form, putting you into our incubator, teaching you how to develop, and then teaching you on the job whilst we're building out projects, getting you to develop on projects. Then you'll be accredited. So once the project's released, you'll be able to say, yeah, I built this with the Blockchain Sensei team. And then we'll start helping you to get your own projects, and then help you also build your own project with the team of devs that would be in the DAO, and then help you get the funding, number one, from the DAO, and then also from the VCs that we're connected to. So that's one way. Obviously, that's going to take a while for us. That'll probably be by the end of this year. We'll have that up and running. And then, Adam, if you've got any other ways.
Well, what I would suggest is finding crypto events, especially the ones that are focused on developers. So a while ago, there was some Bitcoin dev events. There was some Ethereum dev events in London. And the general crypto events are not necessarily the group you want, but there are developer focused ones, and especially a lot of online events. But I prefer in-person stuff because you get much better networking.
Another one I could add to that is hackathons.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Hope that's answered your question, Devon.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Thank you. Well done. It's all good. We'll be happy to have you as part of our incubator. Once we get it rolling.
Yeah, I would love to be a part of that. I was already interested in the DAO. I was in that that Zoom call when you were discussing like the DAO process in the future as well. So I'm very interested.
Perfect. And then last but not least, let's go to our man's signature. What are you saying, bro?
Well, go on, family.
Oh, no signature. Oh, good. Right. Today's been an extra long episode because we've just been value. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode of the game. It's been a special one. There has been more than game dropped. In fact, we didn't drop game. We upped a level in this episode. Thank you very much for joining us. Love you all.
Great being here.
Namaste. Bow to the godliness within you all. Love. See you later. Bye.
Love, take care.
Yes.